The phone's still ringing.
Good morning, the Jubilee. Sally Ann speaking.
But guests aren't spending any more. More people chose to eat and drink at home in January. Hotels and restaurants suffered as the UK economy contracted.
I think people are still nervous to spend money. People don't know what the future holds, and that's the problem. So they will give up the luxuries first because there's little choice of the things they need to have. And so hospitality will be hit by that.
After a strong-ish end to last year, the economy moved into reverse in January, shrinking by 0.1%. There was a significant decline in manufacturing as the sector deals with the increased costs of last year's budget.
Whilst many of those tax increases that were announced have not yet come into effect, manufacturers are trying to get ahead of this to ensure the viability of their businesses. And that has materialised into a reduction in demand and output and also in investment.
The government says growth is its number one mission. 8 months in, there's still a lot more heavy lifting to do.
This government is determined to turn around the poor performance of more than a decade when it comes to growth. And we need to go further and faster in growing our economy, in ensuring that we boost our national security and defence, and reforming our public services.
Growth has been sluggish for many years, but the Conservatives say Labour have made things worse.
This is a direct result of the disastrous decisions taken by Rachel Reeves, the Chancellor, in her budget last year. She hiked taxes, particularly on businesses large and small, with the national insurance rise that's going to come into force next month. And that's meant that businesses across this country are now laying off staff, and confidence has collapsed within our economy.
Whoa! Should I get in?
Further afield, Donald Trump's global tariffs are only just getting into gear, and the UK is not immune.
Everything's computer.
There is much uncertainty about the road back towards growth. Harry Houghton, ITV News.
And our political correspondent, Shihab Khan's at Westminster now. Shihab, just how worrying is this for the Chancellor and the government?
Extremely, as you just heard in Harry's report, economic growth has been put front and centre of the government's priorities, so this is not something they will be particularly happy to hear. Since July, when the government came in and Rachel Reeves got the keys to the Treasury, the economy has only grown by 0.4%. And looking forward, it doesn't look like it's going to get much better very soon either. In April, there will be those changes to taxes for businesses. National insurance is going to go up, the business relief rates are going to come down, and that's why industry experts are warning that that's not exactly going to help with economic growth. It's part of the reason why the Bank of England has slashed economic growth forecasts. Again, not exactly positive news. Then you cannot ignore what is going on in the United States. Donald Trump has introduced tariffs for a range of nations and is impacting the global economy. It impacts UK businesses. Those who are selling things like steel and aluminium will now face charges if they sell into the US. Those customers in the US will now have to pay more. That's going to impact growth too. But the impact on the global economy is important because we trade with so many nations, and if you look at what is happening to US markets right now because of those tariffs, it is quite significant. Trillions of dollars have been wiped off of US markets in the last few weeks. That will worry the Treasury simply because of how big of a trading partner the US is, and because of the famous saying, if America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And that, quite frankly, is the last thing the Chancellor and the government will want to hear.